Maya was a brave young girl living on the distant planet of Viridian, a world full of beautiful landscapes and strange creatures. This planet was part of the Galactic Council, where many different species came together to discuss laws and trade. But on Viridian, not everything was peaceful. Many aliens saw animals as tools for their entertainment and labor, treating them cruelly. Maya loved animals deeply. She grew up with a pet named Lumi, a small, fluffy creature that brought her joy every day. One sunny afternoon, Maya and Lumi wandered into the heart of the city. They played in the colorful market where vendors sold strange foods and exotic pets. Maya laughed as Lumi chased after a butterfly, her heart filled with happiness. But as they explored, something dark caught her eye. In a small alleyway, a group of alien children had gathered. Curious, Maya approached them only to see a trapped animal. A havrak, a small, furry creature known for its intelligence and gentle nature. The kids were poking at the creature, laughing and making it cry. Maya felt her stomach drop. The animal was scared and helpless, and it reminded her of Lumi. "Stop it!" Maya shouted, her voice shaking with anger. The children turned to her, surprised by her outburst. One of them, a boy with bright blue skin and sharp teeth, sneered. "Why do you care? It's just a dumb animal." Maya clenched her fists. "It has feelings. It deserves to be treated with kindness, not like a toy." The children laughed at her, but Maya didn't back down. She felt a fire growing inside her, a determination to stand up for those who could not stand up for themselves. After the children left, Maya gently approached the frightened havrak. It looked at her with wide, pleading eyes. "I won't let them hurt you anymore," she promised, carefully lifting the creature in her arms. Maya decided to take it home. She named the havrak Nika and cared for it like family. That night, Maya couldn't sleep. The memory of the cruel children haunted her. How many animals were suffering in silence? She remembered stories of the Galactic Council, where leaders from all over the galaxy gathered to make decisions. If she could just get their attention, she could help save the animals. But how could a young girl like her make a difference? The next day, Maya began her mission. She spent hours researching the Galactic Council in her tiny room. She read about their rules and laws, learning everything she could about animal rights, or the lack of them. The more she learned, the more determined she became. She found stories of other species who had fought for their rights, and their bravery inspired her. Maya knew she had to act. She started writing a speech about the importance of treating animals with respect. She included stories of animals like Nika and how they could feel pain and fear. Her heart raced as she thought about presenting her ideas to the council. Days turned into weeks, and Maya worked tirelessly. She gathered evidence of animal cruelty from across the galaxy, writing letters and reaching out to others who cared about animals. Slowly, she built a small group of supporters, including her friends from school who admired her passion. One afternoon, as she shared her plans with them, Maya felt a surge of hope. "If we can get enough support, maybe we can make a difference," she exclaimed. Her friends nodded, their eyes shining with determination. Maya realized that she was not alone in this fight. With every passing day, she felt stronger and more confident. She had a mission, and she was ready to face the challenges ahead. But deep down, she knew that the road would not be easy. The Galactic Council was powerful, and many members were set in their ways. Yet Maya refused to be scared. She had a voice, and she would use it for those who could not speak for themselves. With Nika by her side and the support of her friends, Maya was ready to take her first steps into the world of the Galactic Council. Little did she know, her journey was just beginning, and the fight for animal rights would change her life forever. The day of the Galactic Council Assembly had finally arrived, and excitement buzzed in the air as Maya stood outside the Grand Council Hall. The building was massive, made of shining crystal and glowing lights, reflecting the many colors of the universe. She had dreamed of this moment for weeks, but now that she was here, her stomach twisted with nerves. Maya took a deep breath and looked down at Nika, who was snuggled in her arms. The little havrak seemed to sense her anxiety, and it nuzzled closer, offering comfort. "We can do this, Nika," Maya whispered, determination shining in her eyes. "We're here to help all the animals." As she entered the council hall, Maya was amazed by the sight before her. Representatives from many different species filled the room. There were tall, graceful Illyrians with shimmering skin, stout Gruthans with thick fur, and sleek Zifs with bright eyes. Each one was powerful and important, their voices shaping the laws of the galaxy. Maya's heart raced as she approached the podium. She had rehearsed her speech 100 times, but now it felt different. She was just a young girl among powerful leaders. Would they listen to her? Would they care? Suddenly, the room fell silent as Chancellor Varrock, a stern-looking alien with a long, flowing robe, stepped forward. Welcome to the Galactic Council Assembly. Today we discuss various matters, including trade agreements and interspecies relations. His voice echoed in the hall, commanding attention. Maya felt her heart pound in her chest. It was time. She stepped up to the podium, feeling the weight of all the eyes on her. Excuse me, she said, her voice trembling but steady. I have something important to say. The Chancellor raised an eyebrow, surprised. And who might you be? I'm Maya, a human from Viridian. I come here to talk about animal rights, she declared, her voice growing stronger. Animals on many planets are suffering. They are treated like tools instead of living beings. A murmur spread through the assembly. Some council members exchanged glances, while others whispered among themselves. Maya took a deep breath, recalling all the animals she had met and the stories she had heard. We must protect those who cannot protect themselves, she continued. Animals feel pain, fear, and love just like we do. They deserve our respect and care. As she spoke, Maya noticed a few council members nodding in agreement. But not everyone was convinced. Zarek, the alien who had mocked her before, stood up with a sneer. What does a child know about the ways of the galaxy? Animals are simply resources for us. They exist to serve us. Maya felt a wave of frustration wash over her. That's not true. Animals are not objects. They have feelings, she shot back, her voice rising. If we don't protect them, who will? Zarek smirked, but some council members seemed intrigued by her passion. Maya continued, feeling her courage grow. I have gathered evidence of cruelty across the galaxy. I have seen it with my own eyes. If we work together, we can create laws that protect animals and ensure they are treated with kindness. The room was tense and the murmurs grew louder. Maya could see the doubt on some faces, but also the spark of hope on others. Let her present her evidence, a tall Illyrian called out. It is time we listen to this young girl. Maya's heart soared. With their support, she began to share her evidence, showing images of the suffering animals and stories of those who had been rescued. She spoke of the joy animals brought to their caretakers and the bond between species. As she continued, she noticed Zarek's expression change. He looked less certain, and for the first time he seemed uneasy. Maya seized the moment. Together, we can make a difference. Imagine a galaxy where all beings live with dignity and respect. Her voice echoed through the hall, and the audience was captivated. For the first time, Maya felt the power of her words. She knew this was just the beginning, but she had already started to change hearts and minds. As she finished, the room erupted into applause. Maya's heart swelled with pride and joy. She had done it. She had spoken for those who could not speak for themselves. But as she looked around, she knew the battle was far from over. The Galactic Council had many challenges ahead, and Zarak would not give up easily. Maya smiled at Nika, who seemed to shine with joy. We are just getting started, she whispered. And with that, she was ready to face whatever came next. The excitement from the council assembly still echoed in Maya's heart, but the challenges ahead weighed heavily on her. After her speech, she had gained some support, but not everyone in the Galactic Council was on her side. Zarak, the alien who had mocked her, was furious. He was determined to keep things as they were, with no changes to the treatment of animals. Maya left the assembly hall with a sense of purpose. She knew she needed to rally more supporters if she wanted to make a real difference. The council's next meeting would be crucial, and she had to be ready. Back on Viridian, Maya spent the following days working tirelessly. She met with her friends, gathering ideas and strategies to fight for animal rights. Together, they brainstormed ways to raise awareness about the issue. They decided to create flyers, videos, and even a petition to show the council just how many people cared about the cause. Maya worked late into the night, her room filled with papers and drawings of animals. Nika would curl up beside her, providing comfort as she planned her next moves. Her friends were equally inspired, sharing stories of animals they loved and how they had been treated. One afternoon, as they were preparing their first flyer, Maya's friend Rena spoke up. "What if we organized a rally? We could gather people from all over Viridian to support the cause." Maya's eyes sparkled with excitement. "That's a great idea. If we can show the council that many beings care, they'll have to listen." With a plan in place, the group worked hard to organize the rally. They spread the word through social media and the local market, inviting anyone who wanted to join the fight for animal rights. As the day of the rally approached, Maya felt a mix of excitement and fear. What if no one showed up? What if Zarak tried to stop them? But she pushed those thoughts aside. She had to believe in the good of others. On the day of the rally, Maya stood at the center of the main square in their town. Colorful banners hung above them, proclaiming messages of love and respect for all animals. Maya looked out at the crowd and felt her heart swell with hope. People from all walks of life had come to show their support. There were families with children, farmers with their animals, and even some members of other species from nearby planets. The square was filled with smiles and enthusiasm. Maya stepped up onto a makeshift stage, her heart racing as she looked out at the sea of faces. "Thank you all for being here," she shouted, her voice ringing with joy. "Today we stand together for those who cannot speak for themselves." The crowd cheered, and Maya felt a rush of energy. She continued, "We want the Galactic Council to know that we care about animals and that they deserve our protection. Together we can make a difference." The energy in the square was electric. People began to chant, "Protect our animals! Protect our animals!" The sound echoed through the streets, and Maya felt a fire ignite within her. This was it, the moment she had worked so hard for. But just as the rally was reaching its peak, Maya saw Zarak approaching with a group of his supporters. Fear gripped her heart. Would they try to shut them down? Zarak stepped forward, a smug grin on his face. "What a spectacle," he mocked. "Do you really think shouting will change the council's minds? Animals are not worthy of your time." Maya felt a surge of anger, but she took a deep breath. "We believe in the power of kindness, Zarak. Just because you don't see the value in animals doesn't mean others don't." The crowd responded with shouts of agreement, and Maya could feel their strength behind her. She realized that together they were powerful. Zarak frowned, and his supporters began to grow quiet. They hadn't expected such a large turnout. Maya took a step closer, her voice steady. "We will not back down. We will keep fighting for those who cannot fight for themselves." The crowd erupted in cheers once more, their unity strengthening Maya's resolve. Zarak looked flustered, realizing he was outnumbered. He turned to his supporters, and after a moment of hesitation, they began to leave, mumbling among themselves. As the rally continued, Maya felt a sense of victory wash over her. They had stood against Zarak, and together they had shown that they were a force to be reckoned with. The support from the crowd filled Maya with hope. She knew the battle was far from over, but for the first time, she felt that they had a real chance of making a difference. With Nika by her side and the support of her friends, Maya was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead in the fight for animal rights. After the successful rally, Maya felt a surge of confidence. The support from the crowd had fueled her passion, and she knew that she had to keep pushing forward. The next meeting of the Galactic Council was only a few days away, and Maya was determined to make her voice heard again. With her friends, she began to prepare for the upcoming meeting. They gathered all the evidence they had collected, including testimonials from animal rescue organizations and reports on animal mistreatment across various planets. Maya wanted to present a strong case to the council, one that they could not ignore. The night before the council meeting, Maya lay in bed, unable to sleep. She stared at the ceiling, her mind racing. What if Zarak and his supporters tried to disrupt her again? What if the council members dismissed her ideas? The doubts crept in, but she shook them off. She reminded herself that she had the support of her friends and the community behind her. The next morning, Maya and her friends arrived at the council hall early. The building was already buzzing with activity as representatives from different planets gathered. Maya took a deep breath, feeling both excited and anxious. She knew she had to stay focused and be brave. As they entered the assembly hall, Maya noticed Zarak standing with a group of council members. He looked smug, as if he believed he could crush her spirit. Maya steeled herself, remembering the strength of her supporters. She was here to fight for those who could not fight for themselves, and she would not back down. When it was time for her to speak, Maya stood up at the podium, her heart pounding. Good morning, council members, she began, her voice steady despite her nerves. I am Maya, and I am here to speak on behalf of all animals who suffer in silence. The council members listened as she presented her evidence. She shared stories of rescued animals and the positive impact they had on their caretakers. Maya emphasized the importance of compassion and kindness toward all living beings. The room grew quiet as she spoke, and she could see some council members nodding in agreement. But just as she was gaining momentum, Zarek interrupted. "This is foolishness," he shouted. "Animals are meant to be used for our benefit. You are wasting the council's time!" Maya felt her heart race. Zarek was trying to provoke her, but she refused to let him succeed. "I understand that change is difficult," she replied calmly, "but it is also necessary. We can create a better galaxy for all beings, one that values compassion over cruelty." The crowd murmured in agreement, and Maya could feel the support behind her. She pressed on, determined to make her point. "We need laws to protect animals, to ensure they are treated with respect. This is not just a moral issue. It is a matter of our shared values as sentient beings." As Maya spoke, she saw a flicker of doubt in Zarek's eyes. Maybe he was beginning to realize that his views were not as popular as he thought. Encouraged by the change in the atmosphere, Maya took a deep breath and made a brave move. "I propose that the council establish a committee dedicated to animal rights," she announced boldly. This committee would be responsible for drafting new laws to protect animals and ensure their welfare across the galaxy. The room fell silent. Maya held her breath, waiting for a response. Finally, a council member named Elira, an elegant Illyrian woman, stood up. "I think Maya's proposal is worth discussing. It is time we take animal rights seriously," she said, her voice clear and strong. A wave of murmurs swept through the assembly. Maya's heart raced as more council members began to express their support. "I second this proposal," another council member called out. Zarek's face turned red with anger. "This is absurd!" he yelled. "You cannot allow a child to dictate the council's decisions." But the tide was turning. More and more representatives spoke up, acknowledging the importance of animal rights and the need for change. Maya felt a rush of hope. This was her moment. With each passing moment, the council members debated the proposal, and Maya listened closely. She knew this was a pivotal moment for her cause. The council had the power to create real change, and she was ready to lead the charge. After a heated discussion, Chancellor Varrock finally called for a vote. "All those in favor of establishing a committee for animal rights, please raise your hands." Maya's heart raced as she watched hands go up around the room. She felt a wave of excitement wash over her. When the votes were counted, the results were announced. "The proposal passes," Varrock declared, his voice echoing in the hall. "A committee for animal rights will be established." Cheers erupted from Maya's supporters, and she couldn't help but smile. They had done it. They had taken a brave step forward in the fight for animal rights. But Maya knew this was only the beginning. With the committee formed, she would continue to fight for change and ensure that all beings received the kindness and respect they deserved. As she left the council hall, Maya felt a renewed sense of purpose. She had faced the giants of the Galactic Council and emerged victorious. With Nika by her side and her friends at her back, Maya was ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. The journey was far from over, but she was determined to see it through. The news of the new Animal Rights Committee spread quickly across Viridian and beyond. Maya felt a rush of excitement and determination as she and her friends prepared for the first official meeting of the committee. They knew that this was a crucial moment in their fight for animal rights, and they were ready to take bold steps forward. As the day of the meeting approached, Maya reflected on how far she had come. She remembered the moments of doubt and fear, but also the joy of standing up for what she believed in. She had gained so much support, and now it was time to show the Galactic Council that they were serious about making a change. The committee meeting was held in the same grand hall where Maya had first presented her proposal. This time she felt more confident. The room was filled with members from different planets, all eager to discuss animal rights. Maya stood at the front with her friends, ready to lead the charge. Chancellor Varrock welcomed everyone, and soon the discussions began. Committee members shared stories of animal mistreatment from their homeworlds. Some spoke about illegal poaching, while others shared tales of cruelty in laboratories. Maya listened closely, taking notes and feeling the weight of the responsibility on her shoulders. Suddenly, Zarek burst into the hall, his presence darkening the atmosphere. "This is a waste of time!" he shouted, glaring at Maya. "You cannot seriously believe that animals deserve rights. They are tools for our benefit." Maya's heart raced, but she stood tall. "Animals are living beings, Zarek! They feel pain and joy just like us. It is time we treat them with the respect they deserve." The room buzzed with tension. Some committee members looked uneasy, while others nodded in agreement. Zarek's supporters moved closer to him, ready to back his claims. "I propose a vote to dissolve this committee," Zarek yelled, his voice filled with anger. "We should not waste resources on animals when we have bigger issues to tackle." Maya knew that Zarek would not give up easily. He was determined to fight against everything they stood for. But she also sensed the determination of her supporters, and she refused to let fear silence her. "We cannot let Zarek dictate our actions," Maya declared, her voice strong. "This committee is a step toward a kinder galaxy. We have a responsibility to protect those who cannot protect themselves." Chancellor Varrock called for order. "We will not rush into any decisions," he said firmly. "Let us discuss the proposal and hear both sides." As the debate began, Maya felt a surge of hope. She knew that Zarek would fight hard, but she also believed that the truth was on their side. They had to show the Council the importance of animal rights and the need for change. The discussion grew heated, with Zarek and his supporters arguing passionately. But Maya's friends stood beside her, sharing powerful stories of their own experiences with animals. They spoke of rescue missions, rehabilitation, and the joy of adopting pets in need. The more they spoke, the more Maya felt the tide turning in their favor. Finally, after hours of debate, it was time for the vote. Maya held her breath as each council member raised their hands. This was the moment that would determine the future of animal rights across the galaxy. Chancellor Varrock announced the results. "The vote to dissolve the committee has failed." Cheers erupted from Maya's supporters. She felt a rush of triumph and relief wash over her. They had won this battle, but Zarek was not ready to give up. "You think this is over?" he shouted, his face red with fury. "You will regret this. You cannot win against the power of the Council." Maya stepped forward, feeling a mix of fear and bravery. "It is not just about winning, Zarek. It is about standing up for what is right. We will continue to fight for the rights of all living beings, no matter how powerful you think you are." As the meeting concluded, Maya felt a deep sense of accomplishment. They had stood up to Zarek and shown that their cause was not just a passing trend. It was a movement that would continue to grow and gain strength. In the days that followed, Maya and her friends worked hard to draft new proposals for animal protection laws. They reached out to rescue organizations, gathering support from across the galaxy. The momentum was building, and Maya felt a sense of hope that she had never felt before. But she also knew that there would be more challenges ahead. Zarek and his supporters would not simply fade away. They would fight back, and Maya had to be ready. With her friends by her side and the support of the community, Maya was prepared to face whatever challenges lay ahead. She had learned that true bravery was not the absence of fear, but the willingness to stand up and fight for what was right. And for the sake of all the animals who depended on her, she would never back down. As she looked out over Viridian, Maya felt a surge of determination. Together, they would create a brighter future for all beings. The battle for animal rights was far from over, but she was ready for the journey ahead. With courage in her heart, Maya knew they could change the galaxy for the better.